depends what you want. So with your Scat 9 and your KSN, like, do you want speed, carry weight, vitality, and so on? Because, like, these builds can be quite expensive. That's the only downside. Right now on my Damage Centurion, I am running personally Firefly, Shard, and Goldfish. And these change often. The reason I go for these is the Vitality gives me more health. Health regeneration, it heals me quicker. Shard, exactly the same thing. Just I get more Vitality, some more health. And then I get Healing Effectiveness, which is a 17% increase of when I heal, it's going to heal 17% more, as far as I'm aware. It's either more or quicker. Don't quote me. And then Goldfish is just carry weight and bullet res. It's not upgraded Goldfish. It's just temporary while I look for other artifacts. If I want to run speed, I run 2 heliums and a spiral here, which gives me around an extra 12 speed. There are other builds you use. These are just what I personally use. What I do want to go for on my Damage Centurion, I was thinking of getting more bullet res. If you don't know what artifacts you want, by the way, there's 2 ways you can check, right? So you can go to the guide, and you can click on artifacts, and you can just go here. And you can just see the base stats of what to, like, expect. So yeah, so as I was getting to, for my Damage Centurion, I really want to get like 2 prisms. You know, I want to see, I want to get like as much bullet res as possible, and just see how fun it is. But like, if you didn't know, you can go to here and you can check all the artifacts. You know, you've got some like hanging balls here apparently, like 2 far apart testicles. But if you go through them, they'll show you what they do. And then you can kind of put it together what you would need. Or if you don't, you can go to where you sell stuff and you can actually see them all here. So you can just hover them. You know, like this, like bracelet, movement speed, stamina, Sire mission, and so on. So yeah, this is another way you can look at them. You have 3 sets of testicles. I mean, you're trying to tell me the frame doesn't look like 2 low-hanging balls if they were like being segregated. But yeah, this is how you can check. You can go to here or you can go to the guide. But like the thing with artifacts, like I said, they're expensive. Or they can be very expensive. Like you have here, like a green prism that's not studied is 2.25 mil. It's again, all of this is farmable when you're at the point where you're looking at these builds. It's definitely possible to get. But yeah, you have to kind of plan what you want, basically, and then go from there. I believe there is a calculator. If I can find it, I'll send you the links if I can find them in a minute for the calculator. But if you didn't know, I'll explain it as best to my ability. How to do this. If I do this, take my armor off for whatever reason. If you look on the side here, and you see how it's bioinfection 0.53, you have a natural resistance of 1 for everything. Other than Sire missions. So Sire missions, you can have up to 3. Everything else is a natural of 1. So my Firefly gives me negative, or it adds Sire mission, and that's the negative. So the inner protection reduces that 7.35 by 90%, which is, you know what, like point. I'm not gonna do the math because I'm gonna embarrass myself if I do it in my head. But my point is, you do 7.35, you do 90% of that, and then yeah, you're left with the 10%, and that's what's added. So together, my Goldfish with my Firefly is like 14. nearly 15, and then you do that by 90%, which is 1.48. And because I have a natural of 3 resistance for psi, I'm protected against it. I don't take psi damage. But if I go ahead and I... What's something that gives me, like, rad here? If I go and slap a bunch of rad on... I'll see if I can get it up. Okay, the cocoon is so good that I don't even take damage from it. You gotta be kidding me. Radiation, there we go. I'll throw the gold gravity. That probably would have been enough on its own. If I put the gold gravity on, now my radiation is above 1.59. So now you'll see that I start to take rad damage and eventually I'll die. Which I probably will now because I'm too busy explaining. But if it goes over 1, you'll start to take damage. So when you're building your build, you need to keep an eye on the inner protection to make sure that you're not going to increasingly take damage. Now, if you didn't know, there's obviously artifacts that give you minus these, what do we want to call them? I guess debuffs or damages. So, for example, frame deducts rad, or even better way to show this is the proto jellyfish is literally designed to negate radiation, right? So if I now go back to what I was doing before, if I go gold grav, that's 0.76, and and then I put the spiral on, it's 1.21. I start taking damage, right? If I now go ahead and throw the proto jellyfish in, which is to negate the radiation, I now don't take damage. Because the negative stats are countered by the proto jellyfish, you know, giving me more resistance to it. And just to explain it further, because I know this can be quite confusing, bioinfection resistance is the damage you take from that type of, well, from bio, right? So bioinfection resistance is that will reduce the damage if you go in, say you have bio 1 protection and you walk into bio 2, that percentile will make it so the bio 2 does less damage to you, or flat out just negate bio 2, so bumping you up to bio 2 basically is how it works. I'm still rad. Ah, fuck. Good point. Thank you. That was close. But yeah, hopefully that explains it somewhat. And then obviously the bioinfection minus is for if a item gives you bio damage itself. So when you do make your builds, go with that. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that does make sense to anyone that didn't understand it. But yeah, builds are quite expensive, so when you do start working towards your Scat 9 with your... I keep forgetting the order of it. It's KZS, right? If you are running KZS and a Scat 9, just keep in mind your inner protection is 75%, but the effectiveness is more. So just keep that in mind. When before you start equipping stuff, make sure it's negated by something or balanced, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, for mine, like I said right now, for vitality, I'm using shard, firefly, and goldfish. What I will normally do for the record is I'll normally carry around my gold gravy. So if I'm doing a long farm and I start running out of carry space, I'll just equip it, and now I have more carry weight. Obviously, Hercules energy drinks, you want to use them, but if you need even more, carry extra artifacts with you. It's worth it. How far am I approaching with the story? Am I halfway done? I made Minstrel this Bloodsucker boss there. Have you beat Minstrel? Because you're coming up probably just over halfway through the story, I would say. Would we say that's right? At the moment, I run discounted build, Goldfish, Vayner, Spiral, and Black Crystal. Yeah. There's no, like, when you're starting your build, unless you're absolutely minted, don't expect that you're just gonna have this S tier build instantly. Like, this build works for me. It's not that good. I'm still using, you know, I've still got a common Firefly and an uncommon shard and an unupgraded goldfish. The reason I'm not upgrading this goldfish is it's shit. I can get a better one fairly easy, and I don't want to waste my energy. But for the time being, it works. And then when I have the money, I can make a better one. So yeah. Yeah, you're about 2/3 of the way through the story, Matt. Right, hopefully this helps. They're my builds. I only really use speed and vitality right now. I do also have this, which I'm waiting to use on a build. I just don't know how I'm going to use it yet. Basically, when you take... it's basically like Second Life, right? Basically, when you die, you... Essentially, this artifact protects you from dying and gives you health back. But I haven't used it yet or studied it. But I want to use it at some point.